When Canada chaired these meetings, when Canada put something on the table, we even had the FBI come to say, listen, we want to be part of the solution. Can we learn from you?
Carney has failed again. Welcome back to Moose and Loose. My name's David. Today we've got Mark Carney jet setting off to China. And while that's happening, Donald Trump just inked a major deal with Australia. One that we should have signed. One we could have got rid of our tariffs with. We also have the land seizure situation in Richmond blowing up. It has become international news that First Nations are taking Canadian taxpayers' land. We got a bunch of other stuff here. Let's jump into this. Starting this one off, we got some polling data coming out of BC. This is not good. We're seeing the NDP here at a projected 62 seats. Right now, they barely have a majority government, 47 seats, 46 needed, but then one's needed for the speaker, which puts them basically a shaky majority government. As we see here, this data shows 47 to 40%. The reason for this is because John Rustad is running the BC Conservatives into the ground. We have multiple MLAs that have left or been kicked out of the caucus, and just another one today, this one here, Amelie Boulteby, MLA for Penticton Southland. Rustad says Boulteby has had mental health issues in the past, says he's concerned about her current well-being. So she's out. I'm just going to say this straight. John Rustad needs to step down. He is not leading the BC Conservatives in British Columbia, the provincial party, in a good way. Moving ahead here, we've got Donald Trump and the Prime Minister of Australia inking a deal here for critical minerals, submarines, a deal that Mark Carney should have made.
We are discussing critical minerals and rare earths, and we're going to be signing an agreement that's been negotiated over a period of 4 or 5 months. And it was sort of good timing that we got it done just in time for the visit. And we worked together very much on rare earths, critical minerals, and lots of other things. And we've had a very good relationship. We've been working on that for quite a while. In about a year from now, we'll have so much critical mineral and rare earths that you won't know what to do with them. They'll be worth about $2.
Donald Trump in America, they have this critical mineral problem because China is the one who not only has the lion's share of them, but do 85 or 90% of the refining of the critical minerals. And they're needed in all the new technology, fighter jets, electronics, you name it. And Trump knows this. He knows this is a major problem. It's a bottleneck, and they need to have their own refineries where they don't rely on China. Otherwise, it gives China power. Right now, China has power over basically every other nation with critical minerals. That's why he was looking to Canada. There was that deal that floated up in that one publication there. It went away, probably a critical mineral deal that was close to being done. And then somehow that deal didn't get done here in Canada. We have tons of critical minerals. And what is he doing here? He's signing a deal with Australia to do it. They're going to be selling them some submarines. So we've got the details here. U.S. Australian government will invest $3 billion together in critical minerals project over the next 6 months, with recoverable resources in the projects to be worth around $53 billion. There's $2.2 billion in financing, unlocking up to $5 billion total investment. And with that, they'll be building a gallium refinery in Western Australia. This should all be done in Canada. We're losing again because of Mark Carney. Australia agreed to purchase $1.2 billion unmanned underwater vehicles, their submarines, and take their first tranche of Apache helicopters in a separate $2.6 billion deal. So it's a military versus critical mineral deal here. This would have created so many jobs in Canada and built up our country and got rid of the tariffs. Instead, Carney's off trying to do a deal with his business buddy Xi Jinping. It's just disgraceful. In other news here, we're not going to really show much or talk much about this, but Israel launched an airstrike on Gaza, taking out 26 people, which has really shooken up the ceasefire. This was in retaliation to chips and hummus fighters in Rafah, as the Israeli army said that their troops came under fire. So they retaliated by launching missiles, took out 26 people. Will this hold? I don't know. And meanwhile, what is Mark Carney doing?
Wow! Happy Diwali!
Happy Diwali. Australia gets a critical mineral deal and we get this buffoon doing this. And we got Tim Hodgson coming out with this. October marks Canadian Islamic History Month. What? Why? No, we don't need a month of Islamic history in Canada. Canada is not an Islamic country. Why don't you dedicate an entire month to the history of the beaver? Name one contribution, Tim. Moving ahead, we've got this one from Mark Carney himself. It says we're diversifying and deepening our trade partnerships, unlocking new markets, yada, yada. And what has he got here? Alberta beef entering Mexico's Costco market where U.S. cuts once reigned. So here's his solution to save Canada's Alberta beef going to Costco in Mexico. Well, what he should be posting here are some big trade deals he's locking down. This kind of post should be on a minister's account. Like, come on. Nice that Mexican can afford Canadian beef. What a shame Canadians can't afford Alberta beef. Isn't that the truth? I mean, you see this stuff stuff from Costco, those steaks are like $85. And beef is one of the things that's gone up the most in the past 5 months or so. Canadians pay 80% more for beef than Mexicans. $8.10 per kilogram in Canada versus $4.50 per kilogram in Mexico. Moving ahead here, we've got this one from Ezra Levant and Rebel News. This is quite something. This clip is from him in Alberta. We've got Carney's new health minister, Marjorie, at this event. She takes a question from Ezra and look what happens.
I have a question about the ostrich farm. Now, don't worry, I'm not going to ask about the lawsuit because I don't want you to talk about.
So this is her here, just so we can see who she is here. Marjorie Michel. She took over Justin Trudeau's riding in Papineau. Ezra points out in this video that she is the daughter of the former Prime Minister of Haiti. As we see here, Minister of Health. She took over for Mark Holland.
Anything that are before the courts. But there was a letter, and I noticed in the statement you talk about Canada-U.S. cooperation. I know that Robert F. Kennedy Jr., your U.S. counterpart, has written saying he thinks that there's some medical research value in these ostriches because they had avian flu, but then have recovered and are now immune. In fact, he's offered to do the research and even to pay for it. It seems to me that we need allies around Trump's cabinet table. And if you could throw him a bone and say, sure, Secretary Kennedy, you can study these birds, it's sort of no skin off Canada's nose. And don't you think it would be helpful to have an ally in Trump's cabinet when we're doing our trade negotiations?
Prochaine question, merci.
That's my question. Don't you think it would be helpful to have a friend?
Next reporter, merci.
Oh, you're not going to answer, Minister?
Prochaine question, merci.
I don't understand. Did I do something wrong?
Next question, thank you.
What the heck is this? Next question. No, answer the question or you're fired. That's what should be going on here.
Minister, did I miss an answer? I don't get it. Okay, I'll sit down. It's I guess it's question period, not answer period.
Merci beaucoup.
Ouch.
What? Like, how about even just saying I can't answer that, or that's outside my domain, or like just say some words like a human being. Like just say
that is so demeaning to not even acknowledge him as a human being. Exactly. She could have said something. If I was in that position, I wouldn't have left the microphone. I would continue to stand there until she says something. That's what he should have done.
Thanks for your question. I don't want to talk about something before the courts, even though it wasn't. Or thanks for your question. We'll review it. Or just give me some foggy answer. But just to stand there dumbfounded and blinking, I don't know. Was that some sort of power move or something? It looked pitiful and weak, not like something that a cabinet minister, like if you can't handle Rebel News, you're not going to be able to handle federal provincial negotiations, let alone dealing with Trump's people.
Yeah, isn't that the truth? It's just weak losers running our country. She learned in Haiti how to run a government. Yikes. Yeah, maybe that's what happened here. A Haitian immigrant now refuses to answer to Canadians. She's so unprofessional. Yeah. Moving ahead, we've also got this one here. Garnet Genuous saying he moved a motion to order Stellantis contracts be shown to Parliament. Liberals are now filibustering. Over $10 billion of taxpayer money was given to a company that just killed over 3,000 jobs. We need to look at the deals the Liberals signed with them. This is imperative that we know what they signed. And if the Liberals just gave away $10 billion to a company that is now not employing Canadians.
This is a company, Stellantis, that has gotten over $10 billion in subsidies from taxpayers. And yet, in spite of those subsidies, is announcing killing over 3,000 Canadian jobs, sending them south of the border. We know that the Trump administration has met with the Prime Minister last week, and yet less than a week after that meeting, we have more announcements of more jobs getting killed in Canada and sent across the border.
If they need $10 billion in subsidies, then maybe it's not a business model that works. It appears the Liberals don't want to expose money laundering if they won't release the contract. Moving ahead, we've got Justin Trudeau deciding he wanted to feel important. So he posted this 10 years ago today. Canadians chose a more hopeful path. I'll never forget that night in 2015. The energy, the optimism, and the belief that together we could build a better future. Captain Schmuck has absolutely lost his purpose in life. His purpose of going around Canada and having people want to take photos with him. As Warren says, someone needs to tell him that when you go, and you remain silent in your home country for years. Moving ahead, so this whole land situation in Richmond has blown up now going around the world. The city of Richmond warning citizens who have land in these areas that they may lose the rights to their land. We've got Rebel News posting this. They've got the photo here, which shows the black line that I mentioned in the previous video I didn't have. So the black line is this one, obviously, and then the green line is harder to see, is this bigger section here. So anything in the black is basically you're screwed now. While the negotiations aren't done, if you own land in there, nobody wants to buy that now because they don't know what the outcome will be. So if you had an appraisal, as I mentioned in my original video, that appraisal would probably be worth half or less than half of what the land value should be. And with that, I saw this comment here. I'm an appraiser. Imagine an assignment for one of those properties in Richmond. Honestly, what are they actually worth right now? Who would buy it? No one. Zero value. No question. Coming from an appraiser, I used to manage my ex-wife's notary office. That's where my opinion came from. Zero value if you own anything in here. With the threat of land being seized by First Nations, we're seeing this blowing up around the world now, as Melissa points out, global headlines telling homeowners that their home and their land might be in jeopardy following the Couch and First Nation land claim. We see this one coming from Daily Mail. Homeowners in Pacific Northwest City are warned that their land has now been given to Native tribe and that eviction could soon follow. I don't think that's what's going to happen. I don't think there's going to be evictions, but there will be this title on there that First Nation owns it, which will greatly reduce the value of the land. It'll slash it in half at least. Right now, the land value will be even lower because of the uncertainty. That's why we need a trade deal in Canada, because the uncertainty kills everything. No one wants to be involved in anything that's uncertain. That's why big companies wouldn't come to BC right now just because of this kind of crap. You got this one from the Times of India. Canada landowners receive bizarre notice, your home is not yours. This needs to be nipped in the butt immediately. David Eby needs to nip this in the butt immediately. Unfortunately, there's too many space cadets in British Columbia that seem to think he's doing a good job. When if they look at the deficit numbers, he took a $6 billion surplus to $11 billion deficit.
51 years, we don't want to be moving anywhere. We don't want to be giving up this property. We have no intentions of selling this property. So whatever's happening right now, it's very concerning.
So the question is, will anybody want to ever buy a property that is being so affected? Could you get a mortgage and secure that mortgage or other financing by a charge on that property?
In my experience, probably no, because banks want certainty. They don't want mysterious situations they can't predict. They want predictability and certainty. I would say if they even saw one of those mortgages, they would be running out the door and going nowhere near them.
It throws the whole situation up in the air.
Well, I've had constituents reaching out, even, DMing my social media accounts because they're really concerned about what the Couch and Tribes versus Canada decision means for them.
So we're calling on David Eby to do a pause on negotiations until this can be resolved.
And while I agree with John Russad coming out with that message, he still needs to resign. He's doing an awful job with the BC Conservatives. The mayor of Richmond was right to escalate this. This will get the blood up, the pressure on Eby and everyone he meets. Eby, of course, sold his own property before all this. It's possible that the First Nations have gone too far and this may bite them hard. Yeah, I mean, enough's enough. It's time to draw a line in the sand here. Also today, we got Francois Philippe Champagne coming out with an announcement how he's going to fight corruption with a new agency, more wasted money, more bureaucracy.
Already several federal organizations that do similar work, thinking of OSFI or FinTrack.
Yeah.
Why not just ask FinTrack to do more of this instead of creating a whole new federal agency?
Oh, no, you need something different. This is about, if you look at the financial crime unit in the United Kingdom, or if you look at the FBI units that are doing that, you need specialized people. We'll be attracting the best. We'll take people from different parts of the government of Canada, that would.
Already several federal.
Yeah, this guy doesn't know what he's doing. And listen to this one here, as Mark Nixon points out. Champagne claiming that the FBI is asking Canada for advice on how to tackle financial crimes. This is such a joke.
Crimes Agency 5 years ago. What's taking so long?
Well, I'm taking that over now, so it's going to happen. That's the reality. We're going to make it happen because the world has changed as well. We're talking to our partner. I can tell you, I wish you would have been at the G7 with us, but you would have seen that this is one of the prime topic that we've been talking. And Canada, as the chair, has been bringing that to the floor and say, you know what, we need to do something. Our people are hurting. They're going after seniors. They're going after vulnerable people. We know that crime is more transnational now. It's helped to finance, I would say, terrorist organization. So we need to do everything we can. And I can tell you, I wish you would have been there because you would have seen the reaction. When Canada chaired these meetings, when Canada puts something on the table, the Canadian Banker Association can tell you, because we even had the FBI come for that session of the meeting to say, listen, we want to be part of the solution. Can we learn from you? Can we work together? Same thing with our colleagues of the G7 in Europe. And so that's why I think it is something that we're taking head on, and it's going to be put in the budget, and therefore it's going to happen.
I call bull crap. I mean, look at their response here. You can see when he says it, all these people looking around.
We even had the FBI come for that session of the meeting to say, listen, we want to be part of the solution.
Yeah, that really happened. Yeah, bull crap. Why would Canada need the help of the FBI when the FBI was the one that went after TD Bank for money laundering? Remember this? Frank McKenna, TD agreed to a $3.1 billion settlement over allegations of facilitating money laundering for street candy cartels during McKenna's tenure as deputy chair. Frank McKenna, the deputy chair of TD Bank, the same guy. In 2020, McKenna, as chairman of Brookfield, brought Mark Carney over as vice chair of ESG into Brookfield. That same McKenna? Really, is the FBI asking us for help? I don't think so. Canada couldn't even lay these charges. America had to do it for us. Moving ahead here, we've got another good old-fashioned smash and grab in a mall. This one is in Erin Mills Town Center in Mississauga. As it says here, the 5th robbery in 1 month at Erin Mills. I'm just happy I don't live over there because I couldn't stand there and watch them do this kind of stuff. You'll see them run by at the end, and there's so many people that could just stick their leg out right here. Just let them run out the door. When guys like this flee, it costs us money. Sweep the leg, Johnny. Disarm their hammer and force them to stay there until the cops show up. Unfortunately, even if the cops were there, they'd be let out on bail. Our country with these liberal laws are so dumb. The only way to punish these guys is physically punish them, but if you did that as a Canadian, then you would go to jail, even though those laws wouldn't apply to these guys, because we have two-tier policing in our country. The worst part about these robberies is a whole bunch of unemployed teens watching them get away with it without even being challenged and fear they're missing out. That's the truth of it. People are struggling. Are they just going to come start doing this too because there's no jobs? Might as well just go rob the jewelry stores in the malls because nothing ever happens to these people. That's the message that's being sent out in our country right now. Not enough opportunities for doctors and engineers.